you saw me write the final words of chapter 23. Aaron and Barry are the main plot, but they each have a subplot. Aaron's parents have a subplot. And with that, I had reached the halfway point of my novel. Sup peoples, and welcome back to another video and another Project Eros vlog. Now if you're new here, I wanted to catch you up to speed a little bit on what Project Eros is. It is my contemporary romance novel that I've been writing since November, or NaNoWriMo, of 2023. It is currently on draft 3, and I have just passed the halfway point. In the last clip, you saw me write the final words of chapter 23. And I am so excited because I've never gotten this far on a novel. I primarily write comic books, so getting to actually finish half of draft 3 of a novel is like a huge milestone for me. The rest of the drafting process, the other 23 chapters, has to take place by the end of September because I'm starting a new novel in NaNoWriMo 2024 this year. I need to have this one finished. Okay, so it's taken me 9 months to write 23 chapters. Granted, that was including starting over twice because of pacing issues. That was draft 1 and draft 2. But it did take me 9 months to write those 23 chapters, and now I have 2 months to write 23 more. So like, I need to be like the queen of productivity. We're gonna do it. I can feel it in my bones. It doesn't matter that it takes me like 2 weeks to write a chapter sometimes. We're gonna do each chapter in just 3 days from now on. Yeah. So I am about to go to some coffee shops. I'm gonna do some cafe hopping, work on chapter 25 of my novel. I finished chapter 24 last night. It was a pretty pivotal chapter, and with that one being done, it means that winter is completed. So basically the way that my novel is split up, Project Eros, is that each season is 12 chapters. So autumn was the first 12 chapters. Each season sort of has a mini arc within it. It's all just for pacing purposes that I did this, because I realized I had messed up the pacing previously. If you want to hear more about it, you can watch the other vlogs in the series. I'll link them up above. Then I wrote winter, and that wrapped up with chapter 24 last night. I'm pretty happy with that, and now I'm going to start chapter 25, which is the beginning of spring and the beginning of the part of the novel I'm actually the most excited about. One of them anyway. The beginning of the novel is sort of like discovering you have feelings, because it's a romance, and the later half of the novel is like when those feelings start to have effects.
Are you gonna record me talking
Yep.
about shit?
We don't want to leave the viewers in suspense. In the last shot, your shoe had an untied shoelace. So, it is now September 1st. I had initially planned for September to be the month that I finished this draft. It was supposed to be done by the beginning of September, so I'd have all of September off to sort of reset, get back into writing, take some time off from it in general, and then jump into Preptober and NaNoWriMo with like fire for writing or whatever. It's September 1st now. That didn't happen. So basically, to get you caught up to speed, because quite a lot of nothing has happened since we last spoke. So basically, the last time that I recorded for this vlog, I just went back and checked. It was in July, which means all of August has passed, and I have not picked up my camera to film for this vlog. But we're not gonna think about that because we're doing it now. Basically, August was like great for my progress and also not so great. Let me explain. In August, I ended up starting to write fan fiction. This is a lot of fun, and if you follow me over on Instagram, you've probably seen me posting about the short stories that I was posting every week over on my Ko-fi. There's a link in the description. All those short stories are still up if you want to see an example of my writing, etc. But I've actually sort of stopped writing those, and I replaced them with this fan fiction, which I'm not going to link to because some things are just for me, you know? The whole idea of writing the short stories was that I wanted to have something in my writing that was just for fun. It was just for me to enjoy. And the fan fiction is now sort of filling that void. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. But because I got so excited about working on that, and I ended up doing 2 different things at once. I'm doing one that's Dragon Prince and I'm doing one that's Star Wars, my 2 main fandoms at the moment. I sort of like kept working on that instead of working on Project Eros, which isn't so great. It's like, yes, I'm having fun, I'm writing, I'm adding to my word count, but it's adding to my word count on the wrong thing. So I decided to just let myself have some fun, write some fan fiction. I did continue working on Project Eros throughout August. It was just a little bit more sporadic. That's probably something you've heard a million times by now. I feel like these vlogs are just me coming on being like, well, I didn't write as much as I said I was going to, and now I'm trying to make up for that. And, well, that's what we're doing. I did not write as much as I said I was going to, and now we're trying to make up for that. Yeah, September is going to be all about productivity, because the plan was initially to start a new novel in NaNoWriMo, November this year. That is still the plan. Yes, I was supposed to have the novel that I'm currently working on done by now, but I don't, and we're still gonna make it happen. So the new plan is that I will be writing through September and then through most of October as well. And then I'll have like a week off to do like Preptober plotting stuff for the new novel, Project Gray, which I'm going to start in November for NaNoWriMo. Now the reason that I think this is still doable is that I chose Project Gray to follow up Project Eros because Project Gray is going to potentially be a novella instead of a novel. Now I say novella, but that means it'll probably end up being a novel. Like whatever size I think a project will be, it usually ends up being twice that. Project Eros was supposed to be a small novel, and now it's a large novel. Project Gray is supposed to be a little novella, it'll probably turn into a full-size novel. I'm expecting that, but I do think it's more doable than Project Eros because it has a much smaller range of characters. There's basically like 2 characters in the entire book that really matter, and Project Eros on the other hand has like every character you meet matters. Like you've got Aaron and you've got Barry and then you've got Lindsay and you've got Parker and you have Aaron's parents, and all of them have subplots. Aaron and Barry are the main plot, but they each have a subplot. Aaron's parents have a subplot. Parker and Lindsay both have subplots. So it's just like there's a lot to go into this novel, and I wanted it to take its time because it's very much like a slow burn sort of thing. Not just like a slow burn romance, just like a slow burn story. Like things take time. I wanted it to feel like time was passing and the characters were slowly getting closer. Whereas Project Gray is much more like there's a character, Grayson, she is the namesake of Project Gray, and her friend Paul, and that's it. That's like it. Maybe there'll be new characters that get introduced. Parker wasn't supposed to be in Project Eros initially, but now she's like one of my favorite parts of it, and she's getting her own spin-off novel, so who knows? But Paul was already not supposed to be in Project Gray. He's this one's Parker. I always have a Parker, and they always are created the same way. It's sort of funny. I noticed this when I was 16, I decided to write. That's like when I decided to be a writer, and I was working on a Star Wars fanfic. And it was about this Jedi. And there was one scene in the first chapter where she sat down on a bench, and there was another Padawan next to her. And I was like, I need this to be a person. Why are they waiting with you? I basically just didn't want her to be alone in that scene because it'd be boring. So I stuck someone next to them on the bench, and I made the mistake of naming this random side character. There's now a whole main plot points. He becomes integral to the story, best friend, there's flashbacks, there's plot twists. He becomes a super important part of the storyline, appears in multiple sequels. Did I end up writing all of those? No, I ended up working on my comic instead, but, you know, the plans were still in place. Now, with Project Eros, I had Aaron sit on the bus and I was like, I need someone to sit next to you. So I made Parker to sit next to him. And then the next thing I know, she has her own subplot. With Project Gray, Grayson has like an office job and I needed someone to be in the cubicle next to her. So I made Paul. It's just, if I have a character sit next to another character, they're gonna become lifelong best friends and the whole world will revolve around them. Anyway, plan for today is to complete chapter 29, which, funnily enough, features Parker. Yeah, so of the novel, I'd say I haven't actually done math, so this might be wrong, but I'd say I've done about 70% of the novel. There is 60%? 80%. I've done a percentage of the novel that is greater than the percentage that I haven't done. I don't know, I don't like math, don't make me do math. There are going to be a total of 46 chapters in this book. And the way that I've planned it out, I have about 2 to 3 days to write each chapter. Luckily, I have off of work tomorrow, so I can knock out, hopefully, like a chapter or two. Not two, that's unrealistic. I can knock out a chapter tomorrow, I'm hoping. And I'm hoping to also vlog tomorrow, so I can get this all filmed, because it's going out this week. I have been like so unmotivated with all my like projects and stuff, not because I'm like burnt out, but just because Tumblr ate my soul and it hasn't given it back yet. The new season of Dragon Prince came out. I needed somewhere to talk about Raylan and Sorvis. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments what you thought of that season. It was so good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I won't bore you with it anymore, but I requested my soul back from Tumblr a couple weeks ago. It refused, so now I'm just trying to push through and pretend that I still have it. And that means productivity. So I'm gonna go write for a bit. Spoiler alert, I did not finish chapter 29. Yeah. I watched a movie instead. I mean, I had off from work. I could have been productive, but I had fun instead. Not really regretting it. I do plan to try and finish chapter 29 tonight, but I need to wrap up this vlog because it's going out this week and, you know, more grainy footage of me typing probably isn't going to be the most riveting content anyway. So I thought I would take this moment to do a little recap of what I did accomplish. Chapter 29 was really stumping me. I think that's why it took me so long and why I'm so behind. Chapter 29 is sort of like, it ended up being shorter than it was supposed to, and then I had to evolve it a little bit. I've also started filming another video. Part of why this is so disjointed is that while I'm filming, I'm like filming 5 videos. So I started filming a reading vlog for my Patreon. So before I leave, I thought I would talk to you a bit about that because things are happening. So I've decided that January of the new year, that is when the Patreon is going to launch. And I did some polls on my Instagram and on my YouTube as to what people were interested in. And I thought I would talk about it here because if you made it to the end of a Project Eros vlog, chances are you're like a real one, you know? You're one of the real ones. So I wanted to give you the inside scoop. I wanted to have a couple videos every month. One of them will be something reading related because basically on my Instagram a lot of people wanted writing content and on my YouTube a lot of people wanted reading content. So I was just like, let's just give them both, you know? Best of both worlds. So every month there will be a reading related video, like for the video I'm working on right now is 4 genres, 4 books, 4 weeks, and this is the first book I'm reading. I'm liking it so far. I just started it today. But you know, my thoughts will be in that video. And then there will also be a writing related video, usually like some sort of a writing challenge. So like, let's see if I can write this many words in a day, or trying this person's writing routine. And then every month I also want there to be a vlog. So not like a reading vlog or a Project Eros vlog, just like a vlog of just like normal stuff that's going on, you know? So every month there will be sort of like that month in vlog form. And then eventually, if it's doing well and I have a space that's my own, like my own place, I would like to include writing lives. That probably won't be in it from the beginning because, like I said, I need my own place for that to sort of work. Right now, it's just not doable for me with the current setup I have. I can't like disappear for that long to go do something.
I need you to do stuff for me.
Right now?
I need you to download stuff off my Instagram account. I can't do it.
Can I do it in a second when I finish this clip?
Yeah.
Case in point. So I just can't do it right now. So yeah, I am looking forward to that. Keep an eye out and let me know in the comments if you would be interested in that Patreon. And I will see you in the next video. Next week, we're back on schedule. I know I missed an upload last month, but we are not doing that anymore. The motivation is back and we are being productive. We are on the train to Productivity Town. And I believe that you are on that train too, and you are going to hit a great word count with your novel. I can feel it, and I will see you in the next video. Till then.